Hello everyone, it's Cynical Paul here, and I want to talk about the Xbox showcase because it was surprisingly good. So after a disappointing year that Xbox had so far, I wasn't expecting too much. I've done some predictions in my last On The Grind video, and honestly, I wasn't having much hope for this showcase. However, it surprises me, and it surprised me good. So I just want to talk through what we saw today and give you some of my impressions and thoughts. So starting off, we seen Redfall, some of the gameplay and some bit of breakdown what this game is all about. And honestly, it doesn't look too bad. It actually looks like kind of game that I would be into. It seems to be an open world co-op game where you go around, kill vampires, and you have different characters with different skills. It doesn't look like amazing, but it doesn't look bad. It is a kind of a game that I would probably play on my own because I have no friends. But I would play it on my own and enjoy it for what it is. It has a nice vibe to it. It gives me that vibe of Sunset Overdrive a little bit, but not as over the top, which, you know what, I dig. And it is first-person shooter about killing vampires, and I'm always down for anything like that. So, you know what, they have piqued my interest a little bit with this one. I might resubscribe to Game Pass whenever it comes out. Next, quite a big announcement was that Riot Games is now collabing with Xbox, so that when you have Xbox Game Pass, you actually unlock some perks for their games. So if you don't know, Riot Games make games like League of Legends, like Valorant. That's probably two of their biggest games, and it's one of the biggest games in the world right now. So Valorant and League of Legends are free-to-play games, so adding them to Game Pass, seems a little bit silly. However, what it gives you here is that if you log in through Game Pass to those games, you actually unlock all of the characters for free, which is a big deal because with League of Legends and Valorant, it takes either a lot of grind or lots of money to actually unlock every character. And I believe that often in League of Legends is actually luck based as well because you have certain characters in the shop and stuff like that. So this is actually a huge deal. I think it's a win-win for both companies, this deal, and that's what they probably thought. That's why they have teamed up. You know what, I'm quite impressed that this happened, and I think it is a bigger deal than some people might think because this is one of the biggest games in the world, and now you don't have to grind as much or spend money in it. You just have to be a member of Game Pass. Another reason to subscribe. It might seem that I'm flying through this, but there's just so many announcements in this event. There was announcement after announcement, not too much pointless talking, which I really do appreciate, and no VR, which Xbox doesn't have a VR headset. However, I really do appreciate when they don't waste my time with pointless technology which has no future. I'm looking at you, PlayStation. But overall, there were so many games that I can't name all of them. There were tons of little games, tons of little projects from Xbox team, lots of projects from third parties. One of them is the Ark Survival Evolved 2, which seems to be coming to Game Pass. There's a Scorn, which is this H.R. Geiger inspired horror game, which we saw some of gameplay for. One that I really liked was Ark History Untold, which seems to be a strategy game, somewhat like Civilization, I would believe. We didn't see any gameplay here, but it looked quite cool. And other than that, there also was this action game, Japanese action game, which also looked quite cool. But there's just too many to mention all of them, but those that are really piqued my interests. Next we had Blizzard games, and you know what, my opinion on Blizzard is that screw them, I'm not gonna play those games because this company is horrible, but they keep forgetting that Xbox actually owns them. Well, almost owns them. So there's just so many different games that will be now exclusive to Xbox that we would never kind of associate with Xbox, like Overwatch 2, which we saw a little bit of. Also, we saw some gameplay of Diablo 4, which apparently is open world. I would love to be hyped, but again, I can't play those games because they're just horrible monsters, all of them. So, yeah, screw them. We also have a new Minecraft game, which is Minecraft Legends, which I think looks actually very dope. It is like a strategy action game. It has a slightly different art style than normal Minecraft. It's more adventure, less crafting, which it's fine with me. I liked the Minecraft dungeon game, and this looks quite good too, so yeah, I'm down. Last few things, a little bit smaller, but that piqued my interest was the Forza Horizon 5 is getting the Hot Wheels DLC, which was also in Forza Horizon 3, which people really loved, so I'm glad they're coming back with it. It's going to be interesting because, you know, you play basically Forza games on courses like in Hot Wheels, so I think it's a great fun. I would like them to do Lego DLC because that was my favorite from Forza Horizon 4, but you know what, that's cool as well. And also we have Grounded finally coming out fully, which is quite cool because that game is fun. It is a survival game in terms of arc, but it's about Honey Shrunk the Kids kind of scenario. So you're a kid that's shrunk and you live in your back garden and you have to like craft stuff, fight with ants. I think it's a very cool game, but now it's going to be fully out with a cool story. It is made by Obsidian, which means the story will be quite cool. The survival mechanics are fun because I have played the beta version, so I'm completely down playing it in September when it comes out, so at least we have one game to look out. Just before I go into the biggest reveals of this event, I do want to say that it was a good event. There's a lot of cool stuff shown, but most of the stuff is not for this year. Almost everything is out in 2023, which means this year is still quite barren. We have stuff like Grounded, which comes out this year, and we also have some of the upcoming games, which are a big deal, coming this year, but almost everything here is 2023. Which again, it's fine to have future content, however, it's halfway through the year. We basically had no releases for Xbox this year, and we're not getting pretty much any this year, just few, so one of which is actually been out in early access for a year, so it is a little bit disappointing still. Again, it would be different if Redfall and Starfield has came out this year or has been delayed, but again, what can you do? So now let's talk about big and juicy. So first of all, Persona. Yes, you heard it right. Persona games are coming to Xbox and Xbox Game Pass, which is shocking. If you don't know, Persona is like one of the best series of JRPGs ever made. It is made by Atlas. It's one of those games that is just so well made, like any of their games. They have 5 games so far, and each game is better than the other. Each game is super deep. It has amazing story, characters, art style, music. It's like a masterpiece of a game each time it comes out. Thing about those games is that they were always exclusive to PlayStation. It was a huge deal last year when the Persona 4 game, Persona 4 Golden edition, came out on Steam, because it was never on any other platform than PlayStation, because we all thought they had some kind of exclusivity deal with them. But it seems not, or maybe it ran out, because Persona 3, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 5 Royal are all coming to Game Pass and Xbox overall, and Xbox PC, which is interesting as well. So it's not only the first time those games left PlayStation and went to a different console, it's also first time they are coming to PC, other than Persona Golden, which already is out on Steam. As far as I'm aware, you can't even get Persona 3 on PS5 at the moment, so it is a huge deal. And overall, it's a huge deal to see this series leave PlayStation, where, you know, it's even one of those games that's like PlayStation classics on PS4, you know, with a special label. So it's so interesting to see it out on Xbox. And it's a question now, are we going to see Persona 6 on Xbox as well? We don't know, but it's definitely a huge win for Microsoft, especially that they want to make their way into Japan. So having this on Game Pass will probably make a lot of people in Japan interested in at least the Game Pass subscription, because all of the games were shown here as well, they seem to be alluring to being available on cloud, so you cannot just play it on your phone. And we know how that is popular in Japan, so it's a win, huge win for Microsoft, this one. Persona 5 is coming out this year in October, so that's exciting. We do not know when the other 2 games will be coming out. Hopefully it will be not long after, but I would presume it's going to be 2023. Again, it could be just having to do the port for Xbox. They would have to probably change the little display icons and everything. So there is some work to be done. We're not sure when the deal was signed. It's very possible the deal was signed recently, so it's hard to say when exactly the other games will come, but they are coming to Game Pass, so it's a huge deal. Another huge deal, and this was very, very surprising, was that Kojima made his appearance. Yes, Kojima is officially announcing, or has announced, the cloud project with Xbox, and my mind is blown. I have not thought it's going to be shown here. I have kind of inkling that this was an actual project that will be happening at some point, but seeing it here shocked me. We know that Kojima was in talks with Stadia to create this game that he's thinking about, which is based on cloud. We have no clue what this game will be and why it doesn't need cloud technology. I really can't even think of a reason why would you want to do that. However, it is very interesting that Game Pass or xCloud has gotten that exclusivity, because as far as I'm aware, Sony doesn't have a great cloud system at the moment for mobiles or anything. You can stream like PS3 games, but I don't know if it's the same kind of infrastructure as Xbox has or as Stadia had. So it seems that he had to come to Xbox, or Xbox had to reach out to him. It's hard to say, but he had to do it on this platform to fulfill his vision. We don't know what it is. We don't know the name. We haven't seen any gameplay, any footage, any names, nothing. We don't know anything. However, we don't have to. It's Kojima on Xbox, and it's going to be exclusive, and that is a huge news. Lastly, we had an extended look, and our first real look at Starfield, the next game from Bethesda, the Skyrim in space, the Fallout in space, whatever you want to call it. And it's going to be a first new IP from Bethesda for a long time, and it is looking okay. I'm going to be honest, I'm not super impressed by it. It just looks, like any other space game. I think it's one of those things that the subject is hard to be, have to evolve and to look very interesting. We already had things like No Man's Sky or Outer Worlds, and to be fair, it looks basically like those two games. Maybe a little bit more bland than Outer Worlds, but you can't do that much with this theme. It has this style that Bethesda is calling NASA punk, like steampunk, just NASA punk. And I understand where it come from now, because it does look this kind of, as you would imagine NASA bases and everything. It's going to be huge from what they're saying. You can visit multiple planets in the solar systems, or there's whatever you would call it. There's tons of planets. There are also a lot of customization with the characters, it seems. It is all about shaping your own story, so there'll be open world. You can do whatever you want, however you want. There seems to be factions in typical Bethesda way. And also, it seems you can customize your spaceship. So that overall, it looks alright. That's somewhat what I was expecting, with Bethesda. There's just so little you can actually expect, This game will be broken when it comes out, and that's going to be one of the interesting parts about it as well. I am interested to actually play it myself finally, and I was hoping to play it this year, but of course we know what happened. But yeah, that's basically Xbox Showcase. I do think it was better than the PlayStation one. I'm sorry, but the PlayStation one was too much VR. Nothing that was really like wow to me. When this had a lot of games, few wow announcements, even those little games that kind of went by and I was like, okay, they're cool. Was a bit more than PlayStation this time. I am hoping that the PlayStation Showcase that we saw wasn't the main showcase they had for this year, because we didn't see that much stuff for next year from them. So maybe later on in the year they will have a bigger presentation. But at the moment, if we are doing the old Xbox versus PlayStation, I would say Xbox has won a little bit, in my opinion. However, the fact that most of the games are not coming out this year is a bit big letdown. But I do like what they're shaping up for the next year. I do like the fact that they are trying to go for that Japanese crowd with some of those exclusive Japanese games, with Persona finally leaving PlayStation, with also with them bringing them so many little games, and just trying to like build up tons of content for next year. It does look like it will be worth it to have an Xbox. Is it worth right now? I would kind of argue with that, but you might want to watch this space. If you don't have Xbox right now, and next year it will start to get very interesting. But yeah, do let me know what you thought about this event. Were you shocked when you saw Kojima? Did you like the look of Starfield? What did you thought about any other announcement? There's so many games announced. Is there anything specific that I didn't mention but you love the look of? Let me know down in the comments. If you liked this video, press the like button. And if you hated it, send it to your enemy so you can suffer as well. And we are trying to reach the 1K subscriber goal. It's going slowly, so help the brother out. And I see you next time. Bye.